Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another edition of the Sports Report. Gary Patterson is here with me, and boys and girls, if your folks aren't in the room with you, go get them and bring them in, tell them to just zip it up and sit down and watch the show, because this is going to be one of the great ones of all times. Wow. And folks, go round up the kids if they're not here. There's plenty for the kids to enjoy too. This is going to be a dandy show.
Good deal.
I've got a lot of complaints.
You do?
Yep.
Wow.
And I'm going to go off the edge here by abandoning sports for a few minutes.
Okay.
I've got a lot of complaints. Number one, I am getting so many robocalls now that actually I'm beginning to become unstable.
Beginning?
Yeah.
That's debatable.
What? Anyway, today I get a call from BNY, Bank New York, Mellon.
Okay.
I said, didn't know I had a credit card with them, but the bride is full of surprises.
Yeah.
Hello. This is your lucky day. Eversource customers can earn 30% less. Oh, wham.
Yeah.
Now they're using bank names.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
What is the single largest show watched on Netflix? Most popular show watched on Netflix.
The most popular
show on Netflix.
I have no idea.
Friends.
Friends? Really?
Yeah.
Been out of production for years.
Yeah. 15, 18 years out of production.
Yeah.
Yeah. Friends.
That's amazing.
And they're going to lose it.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, it's going over to, I think Amazon's going to stream it.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, a couple of things here to talk about here. The Yankees signed Garrett Cole, free agent pitcher, to a 9-year, $324 million contract.
That's amazing.
How come we can't get contracts like this?
We can. We got one called David Price. Maybe Garrett Cole will turn into David Price. You never know.
I have some stuff to talk about with David Price.
Okay.
But first, the University of California has had a lawsuit placed against them by an outfit that wants them to stop being able to use SATs and ACTs as grounds for admission or not admission to their school. So in other words, math and English should not be taken into consideration. Now, how does this disadvantage low-income students? Because that's their battle cry.
Okay.
These two tests disadvantage low-income students. Math and English.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know how it does that either. I could see it disadvantaging low-performing students.
Yeah.
But
they're every place.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a jurist, a lawyer on, and he said, this is one of these things where if the University of California, really, their law department says this is a frivolous suit, then it reverts to English law.
Okay.
And the plaintiffs have to pay the costs.
Oh, no kidding.
The legal fees. If, in fact, the University of California prevails.
Okay.
And he said, I hope they do deem it frivolous. So anyway.
That's unusual.
Yeah. Well, it was a very interesting article on the internet. Actually, I heard about it on the news, and I looked it up on the internet. Connor Wright, is an English major at UC Berkeley
Okay.
in his final year, and he's carrying a demanding course load. Antebellum American literature. Now, for you folks that might have missed that in school, antebellum refers to after the Civil War.
Right.
So, American literature from after the Civil War, introduction to music therapy.
Music therapy.
Yeah, in other words, listening to music.
Okay.
And a research seminar on William Shakespeare.
Okay. That could
This
be
is
tricky.
this crippling load this kid is carrying. He is afraid he's not prepared for the after-college world. So he signed up for adulting class, which is a new class.
Adulting.
Adulting.
Huh.
Yep. And learning to create and stick to a budget, personal budget. Mm-hmm. Build a resume. Apply for jobs. This is the one I really love, though.
Okay.
Navigate romantic relationships
Wow.
in a time when online interactions are eclipsing face-to-face encounters.
Huh.
So,
As a way of getting introduced,
yeah,
I guess?
so
Yeah.
they have to teach him how to talk about love and all the other stuff with the girl.
Huh.
I imagine this class is for the ladies to talk about this kind of stuff with the boys.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Otherwise, we're not going to have any more babies
Well, yeah.
unless they can do this over the internet. I don't know.
That'd be a
I
good
think
trick.
a lot of this is face to face.
Yeah.
So they interviewed another kid that was taking this class.
Yeah.
And guess what he was quoted as saying? Being an adult is hard.
Yeah.
Oh,
It has its moments.
this is college life.
It's college level, yes. And they're getting credit for that, huh?
Oh, God, help
Getting
us.
college credits,
I'm telling
I
you.
guess. Huh.
You know, have you thought about the impeachment?
Not too much. I mean, honestly, I think it's a big to-do about nothing.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I agree. So I just jotted down a few notes. Let's see what President Trump has accomplished. Tax cuts,
Yeah.
regulations that
Massive.
strangle business have been canceled,
Yeah. In a big way.
reinvigorated the military,
Yeah.
protecting our borders, appointing conservative, solid judges, renegotiated NAFTA, renegotiated our trade agreements with other countries, and they're working on doing it with China, bringing corporate money back from offshore, created a massive increase in jobs,
Right.
working on making America great again. Those are really grounds to impeach him,
And
aren't
got the NATO countries to pay what they're supposed to be paying.
they? Yeah. And they're not happy about it.
No, they're not.
I mean,
But
he could have asked us in private, but he just said it right out in public.
Yeah.
Yeah, gee, it's called communications.
yeah.
So they've decided to impeach him. Count one. Corporately soliciting, corruptly soliciting election from assistance from the government of Ukraine. Nothing has been proven. There is no first-person testimony.
No.
It's all rumors and hearsay. Not one piece of direct testimony by a witness. Second count, they harmed the House's constitutional rights by obstructing Congress.
Huh.
This is why, so they, Adam Schiff said, when asked, well, why didn't you go to the third branch of government? the judiciary
Yeah.
and ask for an injunction. He is quoted as saying, "We're in too much of a hurry to go to court."
Yeah. Too much of a hurry.
Yeah.
Impeach the president. Yeah.
This is why they did not go to court for the documents they demanded from the Trump administration.
Yeah.
They're too much of a hurry. So when you think about this, do you know what's happening? We are starting to see honest polling now. The numbers are getting too big. They can't not report some of the polling now, honestly. So now it looks as though the president has a 9-point lead in Michigan against every Democrat,
Yeah.
and a 14-point lead over Granny Warren.
Huh.
So the president, this is why they're so angry and hateful.
Yeah, I think they've come to realize they're not going to beat him at the polls.
Yeah.
So they have to try some way else to get him out of
Yeah,
there.
that's it exactly. I mean, how would you like to be a Democrat and face this fact? Warren's all done.
Yeah, she's cooked.
Biden is laughably pathetic. And I hate to say that because I have my laughably pathetic moments too as I age.
But you're not running for president.
No, right. 79 is
Yeah.
starting off badly. But I hate to use those words. But he's running for president.
Yeah.
You got to
he's
use
running
those
for president.
words.
I mean, most important job in the world.
Yeah. Bernie Sanders is honest, but he can't win
No.
with his socialist agenda because he is the one that has come out and said, we've got to tax the middle class.
Right.
Bloomberg is the third richest man, I don't know whether it's the world or this country, but he's got $55 billion.
Yeah.
Now, it looks like he can talk common sense. It looks like he's trying to wedge his way into this. I don't see how he can do it, though.
No, I don't either.
Because the Warren camp, the Sanders camp, AOC and all her crazy followers are going to reject a billionaire buying the nomination. They're going to be rabid.
Unless he's the last man standing. And
Yeah,
and
and
Biden continues to falter.
I think he will. Biden may hang on.
He may.
Because he actually looks good compared to the rest of them. And Pete Buttigieg there, Buttigieg or whatever his name is.
He's fading.
I mean, he doesn't have much of a background.
No. Mayor of South Bend, which, by the way, is a mess.
It's horrible. It's like Gary, Indiana.
Yeah.
God almighty. And this is something, and maybe I'm the only one that thinks this, but the poor, pitiful Democrats, they have rejected the Obama crowd as they try desperately to kill Obamacare
Yeah.
and go over to Medicare for all. Now, this was Obama's crown jewel, his heritage piece.
Yeah.
And they're trying to dump it so fast. I mean, so the Obama crowd's not, I don't think, is not going to be too willing to help any of these clowns out.
Yeah.
But
So,
you know,
the question is, how much sway does he still have? I think he has a fair amount.
I think she does.
Yeah.
I mean, they think the world of her.
Yeah.
And she's just said, no, I'm not going to do this. Don't even think about me running for president.
Right.
So, anyway, there's 2 bedrooms that we could look into at night and see what goes on. I would be willing to bet you that both folks are having sleepless nights and sitting on the edge of their bed waiting for the phone to ring. One's John Kerry and the other is Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
And those two, it's as plain as day that they are looking at this and laughing,
Yeah.
saying they're gonna have to turn to me.
I think Hillary clearly feels that.
Oh, and look, the war hero feels that too.
Yeah.
I mean, he In fact, he let it slip 3 or 4 months ago that through a source close to him, that he would, if asked, run and run vigorously.
Wow.
Wow, if that doesn't give you nightmares.
Yeah.
Now, against this backdrop, since the election day of Donald Trump, the Dow Jones Industrial Average has gone up 52%.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
S&P 500 up 46, and NASDAQ up 66%. Now, folks, I know there's some of you out there saying, so what? I don't have stocks. I don't have a portfolio. But you got IRAs.
Yeah.
You got 401ks. Look at them. They reflect these numbers. Those are your savings. Those are your retirement accounts. And they're going straight up.
Yeah, they are.
So don't tell me it's just affecting the rich people. You're making out better on a proportional basis than they are.
Yeah.
So this morning on Fox Financial, they talked to a couple of experts. Oh, who knows whether they're experts or not, but
they think they are.
They're talking heads. Art Laffer, who was Ronald Reagan's economic guru.
Yeah.
He said next year, the gross domestic product, GDP, will be between 3 and 3.2 a month.
Huh.
A quarter.
Annual rate, yeah.
Yeah. He said, once we smooth out China and Brexit, it'll add 4,000 to the Dow.
Wow.
I think he may be a little off the reservation on that.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
It's going to be a hell of a jolt to make all those problems with China go away and take the tariffs down completely. It's going to usher in a golden era of freer trade. And Brexit is going to be the biggest deal we have going. If we, as Boris Johnson wants to do and as Donald Trump wants to do, are going to sign a free trade agreement between the two countries that will be the biggest thing we have going for us.
Yeah.
Johnson's got to pull it out tomorrow. He's up by 9, according to the book.
Is that right? I heard it was too close to call, so it depends who you talk to, right?
That's exactly
right.
Yeah.
And don't forget USMCA. I think that's pretty important,
It
too.
is.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
And that looks like it's going to get through.
And it's a done deal.
Yeah.
And by the way, this morning they had a source. It's not a source. The Democrats are leaking this stuff out ahead of time.
Of course they are.
She's going to attack 6 or 8 bills and ram them through before the end of the year. So she's going to prove that Democrats can walk the walk and do the deed at the same bloody time.
Yeah, that's her point, I guess.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan Chase came out in the last 2 days with their predictions for 2020. They are looking for a very strong year. Goldman Sachs is saying 10% rise in all the indexes, and JP Morgan Chase is saying 8.
Oh, okay.
So usually when they say those numbers, a good mutual fund should beat those numbers.
Yeah. And that's an uptick for JP Morgan Chase.
Yes, it is.
They were not that optimistic.
That's right.
A quarter ago.
You know, when Jamie Dimon speaks, everybody listens.
Yeah.
And it sounds to me like he's coming down on, we can't trust the Democrats with the economy.
Yeah.
Also, they're calling for bust-out years. And one of the talking heads is always on Stuart Varney in the morning on Fox Financial. That I like 2 of them, Shagolani and Mike Murphy. And they had them both on this morning. And Murphy, I think, summed it up perfectly. Stay long in U.S. stocks.
Yeah.
In other words, stay invested. Don't go bailing out. and do it with U.S. stocks.
Yeah.
Even though a couple of good mutual funds have had wonderful years overseas, I wouldn't trust that to last.
No.
The U.S. stocks have had a better one.
Right.
You know what else bothers me? Fidelity, because of my retirement account, will not let me invest in certain types of mutual funds that they deem to be too aggressive for my profile.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Huh.
And I have loved the Barron funds for years, Barron Asset and Barron Partners. And I can't invest in them.
Huh.
I get a call somebody at Fidelity and argue with them, I guess, about this. Or change my profile. I can do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is the economic picture.
Pretty strong.
I am
Very optimistic.
very optimistic. And I'm not about to go head over heels into it. I've kept a healthy cash portion of my investments, and I'll probably continue to do that. And
Yeah.
go in by dribs and drabs a little bit more, but at my age, I have to be aware of the fact that I could pass away. My wife's younger than I am. Mm-hmm. She's going to live on what we get left, you know? So,
Yeah, we're both at the age where your losses will hurt you a lot more than gains will help you.
that's right. Yeah, you're right.
You know?
You're right. I can
So
live very
you
well.
should be a little conservative.
I can live very well on my nest egg right now.
Okay.
All right? I don't have to add to it.
Then don't be too risky.
That's right. Yeah. But by the same token, when you see things like that and you see markets up 25% this year, I mean, you're a darn fool if you don't,
Yeah.
throw some money in the pot and get it
No, that's
working.
true.
Yeah. Well, so friends, write all this stuff down. And at the end of next year, if I've led you astray, you can come in and crucify me, I guess.
I think it's a pretty safe bet.
I think it's a pretty darn safe bet, yeah. Don't go hog wild and do crazy things.
Yeah.
But if you're invested, stay invested.
Even if you're conservatively invested, you're going to do fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know what has been wonderful for me this year? Balanced funds.
Yeah.
Fidelity's balanced fund, 21.2%.
Wow. That's a
The
terrific result.
Puritan Fund, 18.3. I've got the George Putnam Balanced Fund, up, I think it's 22.
Wow.
Balanced funds, up like
Those
that.
are amazing returns.
Oh, I'm telling you. I get 3 or 4 other balanced funds too. They're repetitious, but there's little subtle changes. And
Yeah. It all counts.
yeah, and the Vanguard Wellesley Fund, the Wellesley Fund for Income, 40-60 balanced. 40% equity, 60% fixed income,
Yeah.
15% up.
Wow.
Jeepers creepers. Anyway, folks, that's it in a nutshell. Now we're going to talk about sports.
Okay.
What the heck? Dwight Evans misses the Hall of Fame by a wide margin. Mm-hmm. And Ted Simmons and Marvin Miller make it. This is not youth soccer, when no one keeps score and everybody wins and gets a trophy, and no one loses and feels icky and cries.
Yeah.
The Hall of Fame is for the creme de creme.
That's the idea. Yeah.
And Dewey Evans is a very, very good career. Was a very, very good ball player. Mm-hmm. He was not great.
No. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
No, and neither is Ted
No,
Simmons.
there's Ted Simmons. I was just going to say that. I don't think Ted Simmons
No.
was. Again, a good player, but
Yes, and a good hitter.
yeah.
But he was not the second coming of Pudge Fisk behind the plate.
No, he was not.
No. Let's be charitable. He was average behind the plate. How's
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
And
A good solid career.
a 285 hitter.
Right.
Okay. Good ball player.
Yeah.
A guy you can put in the middle of your lineup.
Yeah. Good starting catcher.
Yeah. But greatness?
Yeah.
And
I don't see
Marvin
that at
Miller
all.
was a labor agitator.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell's he doing in the Hall of Fame?
Well, he did have a huge impact on the game.
Yeah.
I mean, he is one of those historic figures that will be remembered because he made such a,
It was a big impact. Good or bad?
But then you could say, well, what about Curt Flood then?
That's right. Yeah. Absolutely.
There was no Marvin Miller without Curt Flood.
I don't know. This business about these guys having buddies on the committee to circulate the word that it's this is the year for Pudge Fisk, or this is the year for Dwight Evans, and to be networking with the 16 or 18 people that are on this Veterans Committee. This is nonsense. And if I thought this was going to continue, I would suggest that we put the names in a hat and draw them out. It would be just as relevant.
Probably so. But there's been a number of people that have gotten in that I haven't agreed with in the last 10 years. So I have higher standards for the Hall of Fame.
I do too.
I think you need to be a generational type player.
I think so too. I think you need to dominate your era.
Yeah.
Be one of the dominant second basemen. Be one of the dominant center fielders. Dominant relief pitchers. That's what my personal feeling is. Rob Bradford was one of the more literate reporters.
Yeah.
And entertaining too. Now does his work. He started with the Providence Journal.
Okay.
But now he's a blogger for somebody, I don't know. I read him. He's on WEI.com.
Yeah.
And he wrote quite an article. The Red Sox, Rob Bradford's take on Red Sox trade possibilities.
Ah.
I thought we'd run down the list.
Let's talk about a few of them. Sure.
Andrew Benintendi.
Yeah. I would prefer not to trade him, certainly until the Mookie Betts situation is resolved,
clarified,
one way or the other.
He said probably keep him because it's kind of fraught with danger here if we go jumping into the unknown.
He didn't have a great year last year.
No.
But I still like him. He's very talented, got a great swing.
It's right. And if the analytics guys would leave his swing alone.
Yeah.
And he admitted that he was all screwed up last year. So he said, I'm back to my normal swing. I've been working out, and that normal swing is line drive hitting.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that, and I think it was Chaim Bloom, that said, we expect him to rebound into the line drive kind of hitter he was, and we feel good about him.
Yeah, I'm okay with keeping him.
Me too. David Price.
Yeah, well, interesting. He's got 3 years, $96 million left. He's never going to live up to it. It seems that there's interest in him. Supposedly there's a number of teams that have inquired on him. He might have to eat some money. But if somebody was willing to take him for 3 years, 75?
How about if somebody was willing to take him if we threw a prospect in also?
Yeah. I'm hesitant on that because we just don't have that many prospects.
Yeah.
Our
now,
farm system got
see, I
wiped
gotta
out.
believe that Bradford has got his sources. So I'm going to skip ahead and tell you, if I can find it. Tell me I didn't write it down. Anyway, well, I remember what it was. We have, okay. Michael Chavis and Bobby Dahlbeck. He put them together.
Yeah.
Possible as throw-ins to move Eovaldi or Price.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Which is unfortunate because the Red Sox have immediate openings for both.
Yeah, they do.
So what do? Do they plug these two in and go with them and just continue along with Price? Or do they see this opportunity to cut significant money and dump one of these kids?
Right. So if you can get a team to pick up Price for 3 at 25,
Okay.
which, is probably about market. If he was to hit the market right now, he might get 3 at 25.
34 years old.
Yeah,
Spent September nursing a hangnail.
Now that Strasburg's off the board, Cole's off the board, Bumgarner's gonna come off the board soon, I think. Mm-hmm. There's still a ton of teams looking for pitching. Mm-hmm.
If the Red Sox really and truly, in their dreams, want to move him, I get news for them. About the next 2 or 3 weeks, they better do something.
Yeah.
Bradford says he doesn't think they'll do anything.
I think they will. I think they're going to move him.
Then we're going to kiss one of those 2 kids goodbye.
I don't know about that. I think we're going to see how the market shakes out. Because the Angels are looking for pitching. The Dodgers are looking for pitching. Texas is looking for pitching. The White Sox are looking for pitching.
The Phillies are still looking.
The Phillies are still looking for pitching. So
these are all teams.
Those are all teams that have money.
They've got money.
Yeah.
And they've got the potential to move up.
Right.
And who knows?
So is David Price their first choice? Probably not.
No.
But once these other guys start falling off the board, which is happening, Price for 3 at 25, he's probably as good as you're going to get out there, especially if you don't have to give anything up for him.
They might actually be able to go 3 for 31, which is what he is, and let us sit if they included Dahlbeck or Chavis in the equation.
I'd rather them throw some money in and keep those guys.
See, John Henry doesn't want. He wants below 208.
I know, but I think you can still get below 208. And I haven't been through their roster, but they're having a number of people come off the roster, right?
Yeah.
Rusty Castillo's coming off at 14, between Moreland and
Moreland's only 6 or 6.5.
right,
I think.
but so was Steve Pierce.
That's right.
So
exactly.
between the two of them, that's 12. So now with Rusty, that's 26 million. I don't think that gets them under 208. But if you could come off with a net $25 million reduction on Price, they probably are below 208.
How about if you throw Nathan Eovaldi out there, too?
Well,
now you're really cutting down on your pitching.
Yeah, that's the problem. You've got huge
but do you
vacancies
really
in their
want
pitching
to
staff.
see 3 more years of Eovaldi at that price?
I don't know. I mean, I think you're selling low on Eovaldi if you trade him right now.
Teams, his comment was teams would consider him based on his potential. He thinks Eovaldi could be moved.
Right. I think he could too, because what's his number? 18.
Yeah.
So
listen, he could throw over 100.
Yeah, and with the top guys now getting 36, 18 doesn't sound that bad.
Yep.
So, but again, I would try to keep him, hope he has a good spring, and trade him before the deadline if you want to do that. If he can prove he can come back,
because
you're going to get more for him.
Because the number, that 208, is on the last day of the season. It is not in the springtime.
Okay.
It is the price at the last day of the season.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
I didn't either.
Now, of course, you start talking about getting rid of those guys. That the problem is you're leaving huge gaping holes in your rotation.
Right. Yeah, and there's people that still seem to think, oh well, hell, we'll just go on the waiver wire, or we'll look at who's been cut from the San Diego Padres or the Seattle Mariners, and we'll pick him up and sprinkle him with magic dust.
Get another guy.
Yeah. Get an arm.
Yeah.
I don't know. How about Mookie Betts?
Well, Mookie's an interesting one. And if it was me personally, I would offer Mookie 8 years at 35. 8 years, $280 million. If he takes it, I'd sign him. If he doesn't take it, I'd trade him. And I'd start by picking up the phone and talking to the Dodgers and see if we could put a package together, maybe a couple of players from each side. But I would insist I'd want Buehler from them, the pitcher. And, they might give him up. I mean,
Only if they get an agreement to sign Mookie. That's the only way
Yeah.
something like that would happen.
yeah.
Because they are not going to grab a will-o'-the-wisp.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anybody's going to get that out of Mookie.
That's right.
Right? So now you're talking about
now
limiting.
You don't know. When the money gets up to $40 million,
Yeah.
I think Mookie would say, Mr. Agent, sign that contract
Yeah.
now before they gain their sanity back.
Yeah. So apparently the Sox have not made any offer.
That's correct.
But if you want to gauge whether you can sign him or not, I think you have to make an offer.
I think, reading between the lines, looking at the tea leaves,
Yeah.
I think they've said, will you consider an offer? And he has said no.
Okay.
That's otherwise, I think they would have done it. Or both parties have signed non-disclosure agreements where nothing that they talk about can ever be disclosed
Yeah.
by either party.
Could
and
be.
Yeah. And they're talking. What's it going to take? I don't know. What are you offering? I don't know. But at least they'd be talking. But we don't know. And you know what? With a non-disclosure agreement, we're never going to know.
We're never going to know.
No. And that's the beauty of a non-disclosure
Right.
agreement.
Right.
Uh,
But would you sign him for 8 and 35?
I don't know. I didn't like the year he had compared to
Yeah.
the year before.
He was for second team all
Yeah.
league, right?
Now, this contract stuff, was it pressure? Was it pressing on him? I think it may have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, the uncertainty. He's a good kid.
He is a good kid.
And from everything that I have been read or told, he's not a kid anymore. He's a fine young man.
Yeah.
Decent and, a great teammate. And that's it, though. 8
But
and 35.
8 and 35.
If they came back with something they wanted to renegotiate that, I'd just say, that's it. The rubber band
Well, to me, it's 8 and
expanding.
35, and if the answer is no, then I'm
Yeah.
actively shopping him.
That's exactly right. That's what you got to do. JBJ.
Yeah, supposedly they're actively shopping him.
Yeah,
And the center field market is lean.
yeah.
There's not a lot of good center fielders out there.
Bradford said, tough to deal because of poor offense.
Yeah.
And 11 million, they've tendered him. And he really questions whether he's worth it.
I don't think he is.
I don't think so either. I mean, he's marvelous in the outfield. No question about it. And he's a mystery at the plate.
Yeah. Streaky. to say
JD
the least.
Martinez.
Yeah, I mean, his contract is
All right, let me explain to you his contract.
okay.
He's untradeable. He can exercise the right 3 times to reject 3 different teams as trading partners.
Oh, he can?
Yeah,
He's got veto power?
Bradford says there's only 3 teams that could afford him and need him. That's the
Okay.
Yankees, the White Sox, and the Rangers. And his feeling is that Martinez would veto all 3 of those.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind keeping the guy. I think he's still productive.
Yeah. He's a liability in the outfield now.
He is.
But
But you
so
have
what?
to play him out there.
Yeah, don't play him. No matter how much he whines, I want to play the outfield. I like playing the outfield. Yeah, you get a sore back every time you
Yeah.
play out there.
In Fenway, I'd rather see him in left than right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Move Benintendi over,
no question.
over to right. Move Mookie to center
Yep.
and trade JBJ.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about attaching JBJ to Price,
Yeah, then I think we'd still have to throw somebody in to get him
probably
to
would,
take it.
or still have to pay some money. But
Yeah, I agree. Vasquez. Catches are hard to find.
yeah,
You got a team-friendly contract. He's emerging as a full-time catcher.
Mm-hmm.
There is no logical replacement, so he's not in play.
no, and I'm fine with keeping him. I mean, I don't know if last year was an anomaly. He had a good offensive year last year.
27 home runs? Yeah.
Yeah, so that may be an anomaly. That may end up being a career year for him. But, he's a solid catcher. I don't know if he's as good defensively as everybody thinks he is.
I don't think he is.
No, he's got a pretty good arm.
Yeah, he loves showing it off. That's
A little weak on low balls,
Yep.
pitches in the dirt, which everybody throws in the dirt now.
Yep. Eduardo Rodriguez.
Yeah. Well, I think they want to keep him, and I would like to keep him too, but he's a case of selling high. If you wanted to sell him, trade him now, coming off a good year.
Bradford just said very briefly, no way will the Red Sox trade Rodriguez.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be looking to trade him, but at the same time, I'd listen to what somebody had to say.
Yeah. Rafi Divas.
Yeah, I don't think you're trading him.
He said the Red Sox would like to extend him, not trade him.
Yeah,
And
that
you know-
makes sense.
And you know what Billy Crane says? I would take Rafi Divas with his body, move him over to first base. He is not a gazelle at third base.
No, he's not.
And he's going to put on weight. He's going to bulk up. He's going to be a bigger man in a couple of years.
Yeah.
He's not going to be able to play
Not going to
third
get
base.
quicker. Yeah.
So take Dahlbeck, who was a Gold Glover. And he's got the best arm at third base I've seen in a long time. Put him at third base. Put Divas at first. You solve two problems.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Who's playing second, though?
Well, they seem to think that Chavis may back into this.
Yeah.
That's what Bradford thinks. He said he's done everything right, and he's shown he can play second. Now,
Yeah.
is he as smooth on the double play as some guys? No.
No.
He'll grow into it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Got a hole in his swing, though, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, and Dahlbeck does too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to work with those guys.
Yep, young players.
And make line drive hitters out of them. Go back to the way it used to be.
Yeah.
I think both of them could surprise. Steve Pearce has probably retired after getting his 10th full year. You need 10 to be fully vested for the pension.
Okay.
The pension he gets pays him $68,000 a year if he starts collecting at age 45.
Huh.
And if he waits to age 62, it's worth $220,000
Wow.
a year.
That's quite a jump.
Yeah. So he got his 10th, he needed portions of years. He was up for a couple of portions. He's fully vested now.
Okay.
So now he's retired.
Good.
He made $29 million in 13 major league careers.
Not too shabby.
No, not too shabby at all. And the rumor that the Red Sox are trying to sign Travis Shaw is true, according to Rob Bradford.
Is it? Yeah.
They have made him an offer.
You see him playing second? He's an option.
He could. I see him as the possible first baseman,
Yeah.
perhaps rotating with Dahlbeck.
No, he fell off the face of the earth last year.
He did. And he blames it all on the uppercut. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty good excuse
Well, we'll see.
for guys to use. Hey, why don't we jump over?
But you're probably going to get him cheap.
By the way, I'll give you this. It's the Red Sox salaries
Okay.
going forward.
For the out years as well?
No, just this year, coming year.
Okay.
So for your listening and dancing pleasure, I've looked at
All right.
So let's talk about the Patriots in the brief amount of time we have left.
Yes, the Patriots.
Everybody is crying, moaning, groaning. I saw some things in that game last week. I saw them come back. I saw them put together some things. I saw them make some changes on defense. Said to myself, if this game had 2 more quarters to go, they might have
They would have
pulled
won.
it out.
Yeah.
So I'm not
Ran out of time.
I'm not going to run and jump off a cliff, but I will say this, and I think I said it last time, but I'll say it again. I think this is Tom Brady's last year.
Yeah, I suspect that's probably the case.
And if he can't see it, I think Daddy Kraft is going to bring him in, sit him on his knee, and explain it all to him.
You think it's his last year overall, or his last year here?
I think it's last. I don't think he'll play anyplace else.
Yeah.
He would be not vilified because I don't think he could do anything that would bother the fandom here
No,
in
I
New
mean,
England.
no.
He's been great. But I think the class act would be to retire.
Don't want to see a Willie Mays ending for him, though, you know?
No, that's awful. You
Yeah.
know, I'll see somebody that was great, going up there and as a pinch hitter and striking out on 384-mile-an-hour fastballs.
And clearly his performance is done. I know his weapons are very limited. They're taking Edelman away now. They're taking James White away, and nobody's stepping up.
So Volan wrote about possible movements during the offseason.
Okay.
Josh McDaniels. He thinks McDaniels will not only listen to Office, but maybe aggressively go after something he fancies.
Okay. Any suggestions where that might be?
No. But Nick Casario, he thinks is gone.
To Texas, to Houston.
Maybe not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe there's going to be somebody else.
Huh.
But surprise, surprise, Joe Judge, the special teams and wide receiver guy,
Yeah.
he's being groomed as Josh McDaniels' offensive coordinator job.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If Josh leaves?
However, he said Judge is going to get calls to be a head coach.
Huh. Well, we'll see about that.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? Coaches to be fired. Dan Quinn with the Falcons.
Oh, yeah.
Pat Shermer with the Giants. Doug Marrone down at Jacksonville. Freddie Kitchens with Cleveland. Cliff Kingsbury with Arizona. Vic Fazio with Denver. He thinks he's gone, and Elway's going to go too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's out? Yeah.
The owner's daughter has taken over, the guy that died.
Yeah, Pat Bowlen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's taken over, and apparently she doesn't love Elway quite the way Dad did.
No kidding.
And Matt Patricia with the Lions.
Yeah, I think he's
At his press conference, he was begging Mrs. Ford not to fire him. The Pats have had only 5 1,000-yard running backs in the Belichick era. Can you name them?
Oh, if I took some time, I might be able to come up with them, but I'll let you give them to me.
Corey Dillon,
Yeah.
Stephen Ridley,
Yeah, that's right. Ridley did.
LeGarrette Blount, Antoine Smith, and the one that if we sat here for a long time, I don't think either one of us would get. Ben Jarvis Green Ellis.
Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. Whatever happened to him? He's out of the league, I would guess.
They waived him, and he went to somebody down south, bummed around for a couple of years, and he's
out of the game.
Yep. The NFL said the calls were not up to their standards in Sunday's game.
Oh, no kidding, huh?
Yeah.
That was one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen.
Yeah, Jerome Boga is the worst referee in the league.
I think he is.
Well, he's the lowest graded.
Is he?
Yeah, he hasn't been in a playoff game since 2010. I'm sorry, 2013. Prior to that, he hadn't worked a playoff game since 2010.
He won't be working one this year.
No. As we often say, can't be fired.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Can't do it. And he messed up a whole bunch of things, especially some things that you see if you get the game films. And I guess if you can listen to the conferences that go on, all the refs are mic'd now.
Yeah.
So they can listen to them. And I guess he was contradicting himself, and they picked up 4 flags.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I mean,
but it wasn't just him. I mean, how does that side judge miss that call on? He was standing right there.
how? could they possibly have missed the pass interference?
Right.
He tackled him.
Yeah.
Good Lord. And if he had had challenge flags for both of those,
He would have won.
he would have won both.
Yeah.
And it would have been a totally different game.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that was just pathetic.
So it was questionable using a challenge on that.
Fumble.
But
you know what?
Well, on the forward progress, which clearly looked like they mismarked it. But,
They did.
you're going to risk your challenge over
Yeah,
that.
the
It came
other-
back
the
to
other
burn them.
challenge was the fumble.
Yeah.
It was ruled,
So, which they got. Well, they won that one.
that's right. But
they didn't win
but
the
there
forward
was another
progress.
screw up, though. That was a bad whistle.
Yeah.
That ball was alive, and they blew the
That
whistle.
would have been a touchdown.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this-
Gilmore had the ball.
So his 3 plays.
Right. But the N'Keal Harry play, they ended up kicking a field goal. And if they got that, if they had a challenge, they would have won that one.
Yep.
And then at the end of the game, they're kicking a field goal just to send it to overtime instead of having to get into the end zone. So that was a huge,
Huge.
Bad
huge
call.
difference.
and it was shocking that it wasn't even close on replay.
Yeah.
He was clearly in bounds.
Clearly.
And you look at the side
Had to
judge,
get that much.
and he's standing right there.
Yeah.
Standing right there. So
Absolutely incredible.
it's too bad. But, do you put any blame on Belichick for losing that second one? And the fumble, I think, was a good challenge. The other one, forward progress,
The fumble was an excellent challenge.
right.
I mean,
And he won it.
And he won it.
But the one he lost was that forward progress on the fourth down or whatever it was.
And you know what? He
Those
should
are
have
tough
won that.
to-
I mean, that was they missed it by a yard, a
Yeah.
full yard.
I mean, Romo was shocked that they lost that one.
If they don't, if there was any integrity in the National Football League, they would suspend Boga and that crew
Yeah,
and just say,
not going to do it.
not going to do it. No, they won't do it.
No.
He's,
Yeah,
a minority.
right.
And by the way, Ed Hockley's son didn't cover himself with glory in the previous game either.
Right.
He's whistle happy.
Yeah.
I think his crew leads in penalties.
Do they really? I'm
At
not
one
surprised.
time this year they did.
I'm not
Yeah.
surprised.
It's scary. The other thing, too, that I wanted to bring to your attention, this one, there have been 9 blocked punts in the NFL this season.
Yeah.
Patriots have 4.
Have 4 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and this is Belichick. He loves special teams.
Loves special teams, loves defense.
Yeah. And I guess Brian Flores went berserk when the Dolphins lost 22-21.
I saw some
last
of that,
week.
yeah.
Yeah. And Mike Vrabel, coaching the hottest team in the NFL right now.
He is.
Bill O'Brien beats the Patriots and then loses to Denver.
I was shocked by that outcome.
Yeah. I don't think Billy O'Brien's a good coach. You've got to get your teams up for games like that.
Yep.
I don't see how in hell you can go to sleep on it.
Well, it was a hangover, right? The hangover from the Patriots game. And you're right, he didn't have them ready to go.
Yeah.
And that's on the coach.
It sure is. And speaking of being on the coach and all, 4 NHL coaches have been fired so far this year.
Yeah.
And Mike Babcock up in Toronto was fired. I don't know whether you saw the story on Babcock or not,
No.
but I don't think a more embarrassing story could have been written up about him.
Is that right?
He's got this kid, Mitch Marner.
Yeah, good
It's
player.
a sensational hockey player.
Great player.
They signed him to a big contract.
Yeah.
In his rookie year, he was team building. So he sat down with Marner and he said, who are the hardest workers on the team? List them. Who are the guys that don't work hard enough in your estimation? List them.
Mm-hmm.
and he took the list and put it on the bulletin board for
Oh, my
everybody to
goodness.
see.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's a very strange move.
Yeah, Don't Trust Your Coach is the name of that game.
Yeah.
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 Unbelievable.
That's really something.
And then Bill Peters was fired up to Calgary for all sorts of abuse. Punching guys, hitting guys, tearing into guys.
Time to go.
John Hines was dismissed down to the New Jersey Devils, just sheer incompetence, I
Yeah.
guess. Or the owner couldn't stand to watch any more of it. Now Jim Montgomery has been fired by the Dallas Stars last night.
Oh, I didn't even hear that.
Unbecoming conduct.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh. Must be a story behind the story there.
They're not saying.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk about it.
It'll come out.
Yep, it will come out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it,
Nothing stays secret anymore.
yeah. And guess who is the new interim coach for the rest of the year? Rick Bowness.
No kidding.
Played for the Bruins.
Yeah.
And has been interim coach about 4 times with 4 different teams. It's always been like a bench coach.
Yeah.
And the guy gets fired and he gets to coach for a while. He's a good, solid hockey guy.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him get the job full time.
Yeah. He coached here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah. I thought he was okay.
Jim Nill was a decent hockey player. And he's a general manager down to the Dallas Stars. He went up in the front office at Detroit. They're highly thought of, and Dallas hired him away. And he said, I misjudged the guy.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I was thinking, too, who would be the next guy? I don't know, But I'll tell you what, Claude has Claude Julien up in Montreal.
Yep.
They're not going to put up with too much more of his act up
No,
there.
it
And
doesn't-
that's the problem with him. The
Yeah.
sarcasm and the pushing the guys too much catches up with them.
Yeah.
They turn him off.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go.
I wouldn't either. They won last night, so he's still hanging in there. He's a
had that
good
8-game
hockey
lose.
man.
Well,
and
he is,
everything,
but he's been around forever.
yeah, it's time to relax.
Yeah.
And the one last thing I have to say is the Globe and the Herald both had the same story yesterday. What's going on with Brent Ritchie? Why? What is it that he is not bringing? We hired him, big guy, big body, tough guy, blah blah blah, and let's get him in the lineup and see what's going on.
Yeah.
The Bruins delight in hiring these big guys that can't skate,
Yeah.
and then
He
they
has
say
his moments. He's had some moments, though.
he scored a goal.
Yeah.
In fact, I think he has 2. But you take a look at his work. I mean, the whole thing. I mean, he's an underperformer.
He is an underperformer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, the Bruins are on a little bit of a skid, and we have to skid out the door.
Yes, we do.
Folks, thanks for tuning in.
It's a quick hour.
Yeah. And come back next time when we'll tear apart some more people.
We'll be playoffs, but well, we'll be approaching the NFL playoffs.
That's right.
Yeah.
You won't want to miss that. So, with that in mind, take care.
Till next time.